Now, I'm a total sucker for shark movies, but is it possible to make one that has no bite? Well, Meg 2 The Trench definitely thinks so, and now my day is ruined. Let's get this over with. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today we're talking about the newest massive killer shark movie, Meg 2 The Trench. You know the plot doesn't matter at all here, but the story goes like this anyway. Jonas Taylor leads a research team on an exploratory dive into the deepest depths of the ocean. Their voyage spirals into chaos when a malevolent mining operation threatens their mission and forces them into a high-stakes battle for survival. Pitted against colossal prehistoric sharks and relentless environmental plunderers, they must outrun, outsmart, and outswim their merciless predators. So right off the bat, I'm a big shark guy. Jaws is one of my favorite movies ever. I went shark diving when I visited Hawaii. If there's anything that has to do with a shark, there's a good chance I'll probably be seated for it. And I dug that first Meg movie, man. I saw it a couple of times. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, but it's super entertaining because it's very self-aware. They knew that they had to give people what they wanted to see. And in this case, what they wanted to see was a shark the size of a TGI Fridays eating a shit ton of people. So I sit here in front of you today, very confused because Meg 2 The Trench is just straight up not a shark movie. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that they Jurassic World Dominioned us, but they kind of did. If you remember that movie, and I hope you don't, it was way more about bugs than it was about dinosaurs. This is somehow a shark movie not about sharks. They're in maybe half of this 2-hour movie. It doesn't take a Harvard professor to know that that's probably not a great idea given the title. And the strangest decision in this movie is that it deliberately puts the characters in a scenario that takes them away from the Megs. The entire middle portion of this film is some weird underwater race against time survival sequence, and all of the conflict is people versus people in a shark movie. What is going on here? Looking at the rest of the movie, there's obviously a lot of Jaws influence in here, but there's also a little bit of Jurassic Park in here and a little underwater here as well, which isn't even that good of a movie to begin with. But it takes all of that stuff and blends it together to create one of the most generic and boring creature features we've gotten in a little bit. And don't get me wrong, like I said earlier, I'm a big shark movie and creature feature fan. They're right up my alley. But if you're gonna make a shark movie that isn't really about sharks, every other aspect of the film better be absolutely top-notch, and it's not. I feel like a problem we're seeing in movies like this a lot lately is that for whatever reason, the writers think we care about what's going on with the human characters and want to see what they're up to all the time. I don't know why they do this. Like, I couldn't even remember anyone's name while I was watching the movie. All we care about is Jason Statham and a big-ass shark. If they made one of these where Jason Statham was the only guy in it and he was going up against a megalodon, I'd watch the shit out of that. The writers know this movie's stupid, we know this movie's stupid, so let's just trim the fat, cut the crap, and get to the chomp chomp. Now I'll say this, I thought the movie looked alright, the CGI and the visuals are decently up to snuff for a schlocky movie like this. I've seen some other people that say they look like total crap, they just kind of did it for me, I don't know. I clearly have a lot of other issues about what's going on here, that wasn't one of them. But that kind of makes this whole situation even more frustrating, right? Like, big budget creature features are few and far between these days. Before Meg 2, we had Cocaine Bear. Before that, I couldn't even tell you. And Cocaine Bear is way more gnarly, entertaining, and self-aware than this movie. The last 20 to 30 minutes of this film is really what you're paying for here. Sharks everywhere, a kraken on the loose, Jason Statham riding tidal waves on a jet ski trying to save the day. It's all in there, and it's exactly what I wanted to get out of this. It's what the movie should have been for its entire runtime, but once we finally get what we're looking for, it's just way too late in the game. They kind of pulled the switcheroo on us here, because you watch the trailer for this one, and it looks like a total blast, right? Obviously, them showing the best parts is nothing new, but almost all of that pretty much happens in the last act. And even though I enjoyed that first movie, I really feel like I felt that PG-13 rating this time around. This thing just had to be R at the end of the day. Like, yes, people get eaten and stuff, but you can tell they're clinging so tightly to that more family-accessible rating by making people get swallowed whole so they don't have to show all of the gnarly stuff. And it definitely gets old after a while, basically becomes a meme by the end of the movie, just how many times the Meg can burst out of a wall and cleanly scarf a guy down like a chicken nugget. Overall, guys, I left this one very disappointed. I love shark movies and I had my expectations set correctly at the door, but the one big fundamental thing you need in a shark movie is to make it about a shark. And for whatever reason, this film pushed its biggest selling point to the wayside. This movie just didn't know what it wanted to be. It's one part creature feature, one part comedy, one part spy movie, and one part family drama. It's just not what I signed up for when I sat down in the theater to watch this one. It definitely wraps up on a high note with 20 minutes of all-out insane Jason Statham schlocky megalodon action, and I can see myself revisiting those parts and skipping all the boring stuff when the movie hits digital. But at the end of the day, I'm very thankful the megalodon went extinct 3.6 million years ago, so it didn't have to endure watching this shit. Meg 2: The Trench gets a Sully score of 1.5 stars. Such a bummer. Let me know in the comments below, what's your favorite shark movie that isn't Jaws? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.